Welcome back to Build the Skatepark. Today we're going to work on bowls, and we're going to go a little further with bowls like a snake run and maybe more organic, maybe add some hips, some other elements. Let's get started. So first of all, when we're building a skate park, or specifically a bowl for a skate park, I like to do organic shapes instead of just your typical, square. And I like to kind of sketch these out using the rectangle tool. So press R. You don't have to start in the origin, you can start anywhere. And one thing I want to do is make sure it's a reasonable size. So look at our dimensions at the bottom. Let's go with, this is going to be the flat bottom, so it'll be pretty small, but you need at least 14 by 12. So I'll do 14, 12, and this is on the number pad. Enter. Triple click, make a group. Let's do another one. The reason why I do this is because I can use the corners to kind of trace out an organic shape, and it's just a kind of a sketch. It doesn't always work out the way I want it to, but can help. Don't want the flat bottom too big. Like I said, I'm just kind of sketching out a shape, and you can easily just move these with M. Just click anywhere, drag them around. As long as you don't go on the blue axis, they will drag around flat. By the way, I hit space in order to use the selection tool, M to move. Oh, I went up on the blue axis. So it's just an idea. Now we're going to start creating some curves, and this is going to create the flat bottom. You always start with the flat bottom and extrude up, or create the bowl shape going up. Doing it the opposite way is very difficult. So you press A, and this is your arched or arc tool. 12 sides is, that's okay. Let's go with 24. And just create a random curve. I'm going to show you how to edit these curves. One good feature is once you start your next curve, when you click, see that green line? It's creating a perfect arch from that curve. And if you click twice, it'll finish the curve. So for snake run, you want something that's very curvy, has lots of kind of hips. Oh, notice I was on the wrong axis. Do not want to be on the blue axis. So you can always rotate your camera. I'll see when I created this arch, it does not want to follow the arch as I was hoping it would. That's okay. Like I said, we can make changes later. So basically, you want it to, there it goes. You want it to flow back and forth, and it can easily be changed later. This might be way too big. Now whenever you create an arch like this where it doesn't create the green curve, just make sure there's no corner right here where you started. And again, we can always change that later. And here, let's go and just create the end of the bowl. There's a little corner right here, no big deal. Oh yeah, there's an obvious corner right here. I didn't see that. And then the end of your snake run, you want to go out into a large bowl. Something like this. The bigger the better. I could create a corner here, but if you leave a gap, there is a way to make it meet up in the middle. It is not like that camera angle. There we go. So now at this point we can trim off this line. As long as these lines are touching, you can click, hit delete, it's gone. Here's the hard part. Use the M move tool, and we're going to move this corner. The hard part is as you move one corner, this other corner moves. And so you create, you create a lot more corners than you want. So it's hard to smooth them out. It is possible. You can also click anywhere on the curve. Oops. There is a way just to click on the curve. It's not letting me do it. If that whole thing highlights in blue, like that, then it moves the entire line as a one unit. We just want to move part of a corner. Let's see if I'll do it here. Oh, it's not letting me. Let's try this corner. Go in a little bit. I swear there was another way. I can just move part of the curve, not the entire. There we go. Yes. See how that works? So how did I do that? Apparently I went to the center point, maybe? And I can change the radius of that curve. And that'll help remove this corner that I'm having a problem with. On the snake run, you don't want your flat bottom to be too wide. But at the same time, if it was real, you could pump around the corners. And that's not a big deal. So again, make sure nothing is selected. Use the M tool. Make very small incremental changes. Looks like there's kind of a corner. Oh, it doesn't look too bad. Let's finish this one. Click. Always double click at the end. And then move tool again. So yes, we're creating a sort of blob with a huge bowl at the end. Is that a corner right here? Yeah, it looks like there's a tiny bit of a corner. Again, it's not the end of the world if there's a small corner, but I don't mind going through, and just kind of moving it a bit and seeing what can we do. Yeah, I think it's the center point. Reading that out. It's very hard to zoom when you just have lines. Okay, so now that we have our curves, if you want, as long as every line is connected, you could draw a line through it to create a surface. Just anywhere, from edge to edge. Now here's the problem. Notice how it decided didn't fill in? That means there's a gap in one of the lines. Two of the lines aren't touching, something happened. So what I like to do is continue to draw lines. So it's somewhere over here. That's my guess. You can draw lines through like this. Oops. Haha. See what happened there? Went vertical. It's also good to change the angle of your camera view. If anything is going up, that's the reason why it doesn't fill in. You should be able to draw a line across any lines that are connected, and it should automatically build the surface. So I made a mistake in here, and this is a great learning instance. Huh, maybe it's right here. Yeah, look at that. What do we got going on here? Try a line here. Okay, that filled in. Here. That filled in too. Interesting. Of course, I could start over. Okay, this tells me there's something in here that's not connected. I'm not even sure why. We want this to be one solid face. It's different. There's different ways we can troubleshoot this. I'm just going to keep drawing lines. Somewhere in here in the middle. Oops. Yeah, that is really strange. Let me may just have to draw this side over again. You should be able to see every time I delete a line, if the face disappears, it means something is not straight over here. What I mean by straight is either it's not touching, it's even there, or something is going on the blue axis. So let's try redrawing this curve. Here to here. Slight curve like that. And then you should be able to draw a line straight across, and it doesn't fill in. So it's difficult because if these lines aren't aligned properly, this will affect everything you build later on. It could be over here. So what I'm teaching you now is just troubleshooting steps on something that went wrong during your build, my build. Okay, that's good. Not good. So it may have nothing to do with this side, who knows. But when you're building in 3D, everything is particular about being on the same plane when you're making a surface. So I messed up somewhere. I may just have to redraw it. Let's try that. So select this curve. It could be right here. Like I said, it's so hard to zoom in on just a single line. So let's delete that. Do A, endpoint, double click. Yes, there's a little corner here, but see what happened? Something was going on that edge. Now here's another cool tip. Even though you have a surface, you can still use the move tool and still move your curves. I think I did see a little corner right here. Out just a little bit. In just a little bit. Out just a little bit. I bet what happened is when I was moving the edge, these little corners, I went on the wrong axis. I couldn't see it from the side. There's a little corner right here. There. And yes, I'm improvising here. That looks pretty smooth. You can always use these different elevations to get a good idea of how everything looks. And let's see how wide this bowl is. I'm going to use this tool, it's a measuring tool. Here, I'll go across. Hey. Let's try tape measure. Here. It didn't even tell me. Here. 25. That's pretty big. That might be way too big. Because this is flat bottom. So what we can do is we can shrink the entire bowl. It's 13 across. That's not bad. 10. 13. Yeah, let's shrink this bowl over here. So use the move tool. Try to find that middle. Shrink one side at a time. And just kind of change these corners just a little bit. Oh, we have a tiny line right here. Could probably get rid of that. Let's just draw a brand new curve from here to here. Yeah, notice how it filled in. That was great. That's what I want. In fact, this could just be one big curve, couldn't it? Oh, let's give it a try. Here to here and go out until the curve. You know what, let's do more than 24 as well. So hit space to reset, A. Let's do, I don't know, like 35. Click, click. And I'm just eyeing those edges where I started and where I ended. Make sure it's, oh, look at that. Pretty good. There is a corner here. As you zoom in, you can see the straight lines. So there's a chance that 35 might be too small. Let's do 45. We want it to be a smooth curve. Let's go all the way out until it turns blue or green. So yeah, there's a corner here. We can fix that by using the move tool. Find the center. Go out just a little bit. Same thing here. Center. Go in just a little. Yeah, looks good. Remember to always save as you work. Always, always, always save. Okay, let's triple click. Make it a group. I always do that so as we start drawing the next part of our curve or lines, it doesn't affect our original shapes and other separate objects. Now we're going to start drawing up because we have to draw our curve that comes out the shape of our bowl. But I need a good side that's kind of in the center. You know, something that's on the right axis. You know what? It really doesn't matter. Let's just draw it the same way we always draw a ramp. Go up. What do you think? 4? 4 feet's really good for a snake run. And then the bowl area will make 5 or 6 foot. Let's go 10. Make that a group. Use arch. Now remember, our arch is set for like 45 lines. It's a little too big. See down here on the right, 45. Let's change that because this is just the simple curve in the beginning. Let's do 16. Since it's 4 foot, we don't want it too steep. Just steep enough. That might be too much. Let's go a little bit further out. Of course, I'm eyeballing it as always. I don't really have a formula for finding the right curve, but that looks like a nice smooth curve. You can kind of look at it. It's going to follow all the way around the outside. And you don't have to do a platform when it comes to a... Oh, you know what? I almost forgot. We're doing a bowl, so we need to do a small curve to the platform. We're not going to have coping around the entire thing. We will have coping around the large bowl area, but the snake run we won't. You'll see why. It'll curve like you can roll in. Makes it pretty fun. And you don't have to. You could have a lip, you could have coping. But I love doing the curve. So this time, reset with space, hit A. 16 is probably too high, so let's do 8. And we're just going to eyeball where to start a curve. That's probably too far. Let's go down a little more. That's not bad. We want it wide enough so that your board doesn't hit as you roll in, right? So wheels, board, and it rolls in. You don't hit the edge of the concrete with your board. Let's delete that line. Delete. We're going to follow the green axis and do, like I said, you don't have to do this platform, but I prefer. And then 4 feet. And back to the beginning. It should fill in. And triple click. We're not going to make it a group yet because we have to follow me. Make sure to find the endpoint. Now the problem we're going to have here is it usually wants to be at an exact right angle. See how it's not a right angle? I don't think it's critical, but it helps to have a pretty close to right angle when you start. Right? So let's give this a try. This will be a test run. Two ways to do this. You can double click to go within the group. You can see the bounding box, so it means you're inside the group. Everything else kind of fades out. And we're going to single click. How about even better? Double click, hold shift, and single click, so we just get the edge lines. Control C to copy. Click outside the group so the bounding box goes away. We're going to go edit, paste in place. Now we're going to use the follow me tool. What this does is going to create this shape following completely around that line. Uh-oh. Huh. That happened really fast. But you get the idea. Snake run, you notice there's a problem here. This curve is a little too tight. Now, you can leave it. I can show you how to edit that out. But let me undo that. For some reason, it happened so fast. Usually you have to draw it like this. But it's really important to keep those curves wide, because like you're going to see here in a second, it's going to overlap right there. But what's cool is we can turn that into a corner. Bam. Come on. It's calculating. Or crashing. Calculating. So there you go. Yes, our face is upside down. So double click on the flat ground. Right click. I did a single click and then you right click, reverse faces. And now get out of the group. So yeah, see there's an overlap here. This is fixable. It's a pain, but you can do it. Otherwise, the solution is to make this curve a little bit wider so they don't overlap like that. But this makes a really nice hip. So you can basically roll in here, pop, land over this hip, go around the bowl, you know, over this hip, around the bowl. Makes it a really fun bowl to skate on. I also made the mistake of right here, I wanted it to be a taller bowl. So we can either cut that out. So let's undo. Wanted this bowl to be higher. Same curve, but to go higher. So what I'm going to do is, we still have the paste, or the copied, so let's paste in place again. And we're going to select this line and delete it. Right? Now we're going to do follow me. This time it won't follow it completely around. We're going to follow it all the way to the end of the line. And then our surface is still there, so now we can do it again and follow all the way to the end of this line. Click, done. Oh, yeah, it's backwards. And for some reason it showed every single line, which is fine, because I can show you how to leave this corner. Because maybe you want tighter corners like that. It looks pretty cool. You can just fly over that corner. But you can't just go and start clicking on faces and deleting them, because see what happens? It selects the entire face. So you have a hole in your ramp. Right? Oh, this is going to be a problem. Solution to making these faces reverse is you're going to do a dotted selection line from the you click from the right side to the left, drag and let go. I've shown everyone how to do this in previous tutorials, Let's see what happened. It selected this face. Selected this face down here. Oh, selected the face on the bottom. And this face. And this face. It should be good. Let's give it a try. Just right click on any face. Reverse faces. That's what we want. Same thing with the flat bottom like we did earlier. Reverse faces. We'll fix these lines later, but since I mentioned it, let's go ahead and see if we can delete some of these overlapping edges. If it's not worth it for you, go ahead and redraw your curve. So what I'm doing is I'm drawing a line from corner to corner. Basically just following this line. There is no lines there intersecting, so we're creating intersections. So then we can trim them. Yes, it's a pain. So you better want this curve that badly. This hip to there. So now in theory, we should be able to angle the camera without going through the ramp and do something like this. Oh no, it won't work. See the top? All of the top got selected. Which means there's no intersecting line here across the top. It looks like there is. Oh wait, that one did not complete. Let's try it again. There to there. Yeah, that's weird. It's almost like this line isn't even touching. These aren't necessary. Goodbye, goodbye. Be careful when you're clicking. Sometimes that happens. It deletes the whole thing. Oh, you know why? Because there's no intersecting line here. So this is basically editing line by line, intersection by intersection. Never a quick way to do this. It depends on how bad you want this curve or this shape. Well, this is just a face. Huh, that was cool. Goodbye. Now these lines here, are they intersecting or are they floating? It appears that they're floating. So this one should be able to just delete. Yep, good. Delete. Sometimes it's easier than you expect. Okay, now, oops, not sure how that happened. Let's go draw a line here to here. Good. Notice the curve. You can actually see the gradation of the curve. Those are lines that are hidden. Now let's angle that camera. Delete. But guess what? A little extra lines to delete. That happens too. Sometimes it's better just to manually click them one at a time. Can't do that. Once we click the inside here, watch. Oh. What the heck? Oh, that means we can't click on this side. See, it's connected. We have to leave that intersecting line. It's funny how it's unhiding. And these aren't connected to anything, so you can go delete. Not sure what's going on right here. You might just hide those. But, oh, look at that. Interesting curve there. It is so tiny you're probably not even going to see it. Anyways, let's finish. Oh, something happened here. I should not have deleted that face. Let's go back up. Ah, there we go. Okay, that tells me this line right here is not intersecting properly. Something happened. Let's try it again. Oh, there's two lines. See that? Line. Line. There we go. Yeah, learning how to recognize when a mistake like that happens or an edit, it's really good to know how to go back through and delete it. There we go. Bowls are probably the hardest thing to draw because they're so organic. Good. We'll probably have to draw a line through here somewhere. Delete. 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 Goodbye. Oops. That's interesting. Yep, same thing here. Something went wrong. It's probably because there's two curves. And it's very hard to see. One. To here, maybe? Oh, that's weird. Alright, I'll fix that later. Ooh. What happened there? This is not going according to plan. But you can see the tedious work sometimes it takes to edit and clean up. Something definitely going on there. Get rid of this. 1, 2, 3. Goodbye. I love triple clicking. Man. Oh, I think it's because of the missing piece right here. So, let's follow this curve. I wish I just made the curve wider so I didn't have this problem. Every time I delete something, it shows a whole new problem. Oops. Undo. See that little dot? Oops. A little tiny line right here. But again, you're not going to see that. No one's going to see it. Alright, let's see what's going on here. Ah, much better. Watch, when I delete this, it'll still open, so I have to leave that line there. Not the end of the world. Same with this line. I'm just trying to connect edges. Looks good. Because what's happening is it's not flat. A face that's not flat needs a line in the middle because they're all triangles. So something's not flat here. You know what? Oh well. I will just clean that up later by making those lines invisible because now it's a face. So same here. There's probably another line about right there. Or right there. Or somewhere in here. I don't know what's going on. Here's a trick. Not proper, but you can click, use the move tool and click on the very bottom here. If you press Alt, you just slide over, but you see what's happening. Oh, not bad. Sometimes you can cheat with that. It is not a proper way to build. Design in 3D. But it can work if you need a quick fix. Just yeah, there we go. I guarantee this has something to do with the missing piece up here. Remember, when you're rotating, put your mouse over an object before you middle click and rotate. Man, that is weird. Is it really worth all this work? Sometimes. Just for one cool looking corner. It does look really cool. This should be as simple as drawing from this edge. It's right here. Yep, delete. Oh. There is a limit to your zoom. Now there is options to change field of view, but it's not that important when you're building. Yeah, look at that. Oh, that's an overlap. Look at this. A little tiny thin piece just sticking up. If I delete this line, not bad. This is probably a bad idea. Yes, it was. So it tells me there's another line on the inside of that hole. So follow me does create some issues like this when you do crazy looking shapes. But first thing first, let's at least finish so we can do the bigger side of the bowl. So here I'm just going to cheat by pressing M and moving it over. Whatever, right? Whatever. Oop. Get rid of this little guy. Let's see if we can draw a line and connect these corners. And just make it a flat face. It's not. There we go. Okay, we'll leave that. This one is such a weird shape. It looks flat, but it's not. So let's do this. Move tool, grab a corner. Snap. It'll look a little weird later on, but it should work. There's a little floating piece. Goodbye. Oh, don't know what happened here. Probably because this got deleted. So what? That's cool. Alright, triple click. Select the entire thing. And we're going to go to... We do have a toolbar here called Soften Edges. Increase that. And there you go. Smooths out the edges for you. Like I said before, we may have to hide these manually. Hold shift to select the other lines. And then we go to edit, hide. There you go. So our curves there. Now sometimes these lines will appear like this. Make sure nothing else is selected and do the same thing. Edit, hide. And when you triple click, the hidden lines are selected, so you don't have to worry about that. I have no idea what happened here. See what happens if I delete it. Okay, so same thing. This is the selection where I click from the left side, drag to the right, and anything inside there will be selected. So be careful of objects in the background, they will be selected. You go, hide. A mistake with hiding though is as you're creating groups or groups and components, sometimes you have hidden stuff that when you triple click you don't see it and it's way off in the distance, and then when you drag your group or copy and paste, you're like, why is the bounding box so big? Because there's a hidden line off in the distance that you don't see. You notice some extra lines here, here, and here. Not the end of the world. Same thing, just draw an intersecting line from here to here. I didn't want to delete that, that's a curve. And go delete, 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 goodbye, goodbye. Same here on the bottom. Make sure to save as you go. I'm not saving because I'm not planning on saving this. But as you work, definitely save as you go. Okay, we got to finish this bowl. So we have our rolled edge snake run. Wish I had made it a little bit longer. Do more corners. Now what we're going to do is going to copy this curve and make it keep going up to about 6 feet. So let's do that now. But before we do, always make a group of existing objects. There we go. Our arc should be the same curve already. So we should be able to match it. Whoa. That's not right. You do want to match it perfectly. So, how do we do that? Go to the group. Oh, it broke the entire arch up. That's okay. I'm going to select that curve, copy. Paste in place. Right. Now we can't see it because we want to continue our curve. So let's do a move. Make sure it's on this red axis. Let's move it like 20 feet. There we go. I don't know if I like this angle. But we can draw a rectangle on this angle. 6. Notice it's showing perpendicular. Or sorry, that's parallel. So 10, up 6. There we go. Yeah, it's really awkward drawing on an angle like this. It is possible. Man. Alright, scratch that. Let's do this. We're gonna draw a straight line, doesn't matter how long. Make sure you select the entire curve. Press Q. Doesn't matter, has to be on the blue axis for rotation. Doesn't matter on where you start your first click on the endpoint there. And doesn't matter. Sorry, I don't know why I keep saying that. Try here. Yeah, there we go. That was risky. Okay, so what we did is rotated. See that again? Select the entire curve. Q. It's good to always change your camera angle. Click on the endpoint, and then your second click will be on the end of this line. You notice it draws a perfectly straight line from the top. So that's our angle. And then we bring it over here, snap to this line. Not straight. If you're not sure, can always draw a straight line from here on the blue axis to here, and it should fill in. So what we're going to do is draw our bowl ramp from here, and then bring it back over here, rotate it, and then go around the curve. Yeah, this is coming out to be much more difficult than it should have been, but it's good for teaching. So I went ahead and did a group really quick, because I want to draw that rectangle again. Six, green axis, 10, 6. There you go. Hit group. I'll press A. 8 sides is probably too many. Let's do 5. Let's try that. I don't know. I don't like this curve right here. It looks like it's curving down. So maybe I'll start it right here. Yes, I know it's intersecting, but we can fix that. How's that look? It's pretty smooth. Delete our rectangle. Right click and explode this group. That was just for temporary purposes. And let's delete some of these lines so you have a better curve. It's kind of hard to tell how smooth that curve is. Like for here it looks good, and once you rotate it, sometimes it looks kind of bad. Let's go out. 10, 6. There we go. Not bad. There might be a little straight line right here. Let's find out. Let's do a press and pull as the test. Does that look weird? Looks weird to me. Oops. It's almost like I need to start the curve earlier. So let's back out. So our rectangle's back. A. Let's do 6 instead of 5, so we're going to start a little bit lower. How's that look? Delete. Oh. No, don't explode that yet. Rectangle, delete. Explode. Wow, I did not do a good job. Or maybe I did. Delete. I kind of like that curve now. It looks much more smooth. I'm going to go more than 10 feet. Let's go 12. 6. How's that look? We are going to have coping. Alright, triple click, make a group. I'm going to move this back over here. Remember how we did the rotation? It's Q. It has to be on the blue axis. And anywhere on this line is fine because we're going to slide it back over to this line. Right? See what's going on there? Okay, now that's a group, group, group. Let's double click on our flat bottom. Click on our curve that we're going to follow me, copy, which is Control C. Get out of the group, edit, paste in place. And now on our new curve, right click, explode. This better work. Click and follow. Click and follow. Should stop right there. Wow, that did not line up as well as I thought it would. Oh, you know what? It did. There's a gap. That's easily fixable. Same here. See the gap? Sometimes it just does that. It's probably because of the angle that we started it. So, double click on this edge. We're going to use rotate. Make sure it's the blue rotation. Click. Click. And let's pull it over to there. All that does is it stretches that one plane right at the edge. No big deal. Nobody will know. Double click, Q, make sure to get that endpoint, click at the corner, there we go. That looks fun. Imagine popping off of this corner, way up in the air and landing down here. And maybe even over here too. Fly off the corner. Alright, so first things first, we gotta triple click and go back to our tools. I just use increase. If you go too small, you can see all the edges. Just increase enough that they disappear. Space, triple click, make group. Alright, so we have a snake run. Now of course there'll be concrete all around the outside here. You have a snake run, you can roll in, hit the corners, hit the hips, pump around this bowl in many different angles. You can even half pipe if you wanted to. We need some coping. This is going to be fun. So we know how to do coping at C. 24 sides is way too many. So let's go 8. Well, that's probably not enough. Let's go 10. I got to reset, so we're going to hit space, C. Oh, it did work. Interesting. That's 0.1. So there's our coping. We have nothing to follow because it's inside here. So you double click. Usually the quickest way for me is double click the top, Control C, get out of the group, paste in place. Oops. Paste, in place. Now what we do now is just delete the lines that we don't need. So on the edge, triple click, and it'll only, because we disconnected them, only connects or deletes the outside. Follow me. Follow that curve all the way around. There you go. Hey, it even looks like pull coping. And notice it's kind of a darker blue. So triple click, right click, reverse faces, right click, make group. And then same thing as we did with the bowl. There you go. Oh, whoops. Let's increase that more. There we go. So now we have our coping. Good stuff. Alright, let's say we want to build the concrete around the outside. Let's do a huge rectangle. Like this. So basically what we want is this line on the outside, so we can cut it out of this rectangle. So we know that it's 4 feet high. So move it up 4 feet. Yep. But one problem we have is there's no line here, so that's a problem. But it's the same curves at the top. Let's go inside this group. I already have it copied, but just for practice, copy. Paste in place. And we're basically going to move it down. So click a corner, hold shift to make it sure it snaps, and just click anywhere on this face and it moves it down exactly where we need it. Right? We're going to triple click. I remove this. Let's try 200. Just move it. Well, I think I did 20. 200. Move it out of the way because we're going to work over here and then bring it back. Something I learned in CAD. Now we're going to need this outside line of this bowl right here, this snake run. Now it's going to be hard just to select it, because if I triple click, everything gets selected. You can click the top, but once again, everything selects, right? What if we did the back? Oh, not bad. Ooh, what happened here? So I'm holding shift and selecting every back face, because all we want is the top line. So do Control C to copy, paste in place. Make sure it's on that green axis, 200. Right? Now this is easy. If you line up the camera with the horizon so it's flat, draw a rectangle and just keep it below the horizon. Delete, and there's our line. Of course, we don't need this line, we just need the outside. Triple click this inside line. Alright, something is wrong here. Because we should be able to click the middle and it should select only the middle like a face. So, same thing we did before, start troubleshooting. I must have missed something, or something's not connected. It could be just one of these corners, a little microscopic gap. And it's very difficult to find out where it is. So the first thing I do is I draw lines, like we did earlier. Okay, that's good. Get to here. Okay, not good. Try here. Now look at that. So something in here is not connected properly. Wow, it is way off. And this happens. So you gotta take the time to try to figure out where it is. Sometimes I cheat again, I do the move tool. So it's not this side, it's somewhere over here. So strange when this happens, but it does happen. Especially doing follow me around manually generated curves. So if we can't find exactly where the problem is, we just keep making these lines as small as possible, and then we use the move tool to close it up. Oh, it's so weird. It's like there's two spots. This is wild. This one's being really stubborn. Nothing we can do is just redraw it. Right? Doesn't have to be perfect, it's on the outside. Wow. I don't see anything wrong with that line. Let's try this. Move this corner to that corner. Goodbye. This one's harder because it's a sharper curve. So what we can do is move this corner to there. Okay. Then move this corner to there. Now, because we changed the curve here, it'll go inside No big deal. No one's gonna see it. Man. I'm gonna make this a group, and let's do a curve. Oops, I'm still in the group. It's hard to see the bounding box when you're zoomed in. So we're gonna select that line and cut. Oops, I'm gonna explode this. Explode. Oh, look at that. What the heck? What just happened? Look, now it's working. Oops. Undo. There's something right here in this corner that is not happy. Isn't that weird? So watch this. If you have the Pro version of SketchUp, you can actually, I think there's an inspection. What the? I think there's a face in there. Look at that. Goodbye. Okay. Now we can group it. Also reverse face. Don't forget that part. Move it back. 200. That was not 200. 200. No. And there we go. There's our snake run, our surrounding skate park. Of course, you could do other bowls over here. Street objects. We've got a snake run. We've got our raised 6-foot bowl, which is massive. Let's see how far apart it is. Here, coping to coping is 38 feet. That is huge. But again, you can do it like a half pipe. This may be way too big, but you get the idea. You can always shrink it. Shrinking is as simple as just selecting all of it. Scale. I would always use the top corner to retain the height and the width. Let's check it. Coping. The coping is 34. It really didn't change much. Flat ground. 22. It's pretty big. You know, some bowls need to be big though, because when you're hitting these hips, you'll be flying fast. You go carve around. Bam. So there you go. Snake run and a bowl. Had a lot of editing. Have fun making your skate parks. Bye.